everyone. I'm meteorologist Maria Molina from the Fox Extreme Weather Center with your forecast for the southeast. And today will be another nice day out across our area. We're looking at temperatures on the warm side across Florida, 84 for your high in Fort Myers, 80 in Miami, and 78 degrees in Orlando, Florida. Now, most of the area is going to stay dry with a lot of sunshine, but unfortunately, or actually fortunately, for Florida, we're going to be looking at some showers and thunderstorms. And the reason why I say fortunately is because more than 90% of the state, about 90.5 of it, is currently under some form of drought, so we're going to need that moisture in any form that we can take it, and so we're just going to continue to need those umbrellas throughout the day today. And it's not going to be widespread rain, at least not for central and northern Florida, so you're not going to need the umbrella the whole day. But if you live in South Florida, probably want to make sure you have it throughout most of your day. Otherwise, as we head northward, we do have pleasant temperatures as well. Memphis, Tennessee, 60 degrees for your high temperature, 58 in Nashville, and 51 degrees for your high over in St. Louis. And as we head westward, we do have a storm system across parts of the Central Plains, producing some light rain, freezing rain further off to the north, and also some light snow. But that system's going to mainly impact areas to our north across parts of the Ohio Valley as we head into tomorrow morning. There are, again, some showers and thunderstorms that will impact parts of Florida. But if you live in Atlanta, Tennessee, or the northern portions of Mississippi and Alabama, we're expecting generally a dry day, some clouds around the Carolinas, but also expect to see some sunshine there throughout your afternoon as well. Have a great day, everyone. I'm meteorologist Maria Molina from the Fox Extreme Weather Center.
Thanks, Maria. All right, Dow's up 31 points right now. You know, we keep talking about trying to create jobs in this country and how to go about doing it. And, you know, do we need investment from the government to do it? I'm not entirely sure, which is why this next story is so great. Jim Newsome, President and CEO of South Carolina Ports Authority, is with us, as well as David Ginn, President and CEO of the Charleston Regional Development Alliance. Both are here to talk about your ports and how you could single-handedly create a ton of jobs, can't you, Jim?
Yeah, we can. I mean, ships are getting much larger. We're in the biggest shipbuilding boom for container ships, really, in the history of the world. 80% of the ships on order are too big to go through the Panama Canal today, and they have to come to East Coast ports eventually because 70% of the population is east of the Mississippi River. We're also in an export boom in this country. We're manufacturing a lot, not because our economy is strong, but because the Chinese economy is strong. They're growing a middle class of 500 million people. So export cargo tends to be lower value, it tends to be heavier, and harbors need to be deepened to accommodate the bigger ships to handle that cargo.
Now, David, your ports, though, are deep already.
They are very globally competitive, but as the economic development president in our market, promoting the Charleston region globally as a competitive location for business and for talent, you got to have globally competitive assets. And thankfully, through Jim and the Ports Authority of South Carolina, and specifically in Charleston, it allows us to be competitive with the Boeings that are making 787s in our market now, one of only 3 places in the world making wide-body commercial aircraft. But without the port, you're not competitive out of the gate. You're eliminated from that kind of competition. If you don't have the port, you can't make Mercedes Sprinter vans as we do in our market, and so on. So
because they need the port to get the materials in.
You've got to be able to move your stuff around the world.
And then get out and sell it.
Very globally competitive, and that's what we do through this wonderful asset that Jim heads up.
So now, our Army Corps of Engineers recently received money, right? $20 million. For the Port of Charleston.
They're going to have us in their work plan for 2012, we think. We need to get in the President's budget for 2013 to do the study. Then when the study's completed, assuming it's successful, then they have to construct the harbor.
What does it do to business that you are waiting on the White House to make decisions?
Well, I mean, I think obviously we can't afford to lose time. The Panama Canal is being widened in 2014. The new ships are coming fast. So we need to move much faster to get our harbor deepened, and we need to make sure that the harbor deepening projects are going to get funded. In a no earmark environment, it's not clear how harbors are going to be deepened and who's going to fund it, basically.
Do you worry, David, that the administration is not focusing on the right stuff? Like that this is really important to the growth of our country, and yet we don't hear a lot about it?
Well, the administration made a goal of doubling exports in our country,
we all know that goal.
But I think what Jim has taught me and our community and our state is that with that kind of goal for our country, you've got to have the infrastructure to back it up. And so once you start backing into it, to have a globally competitive port with a 50-foot depth to handle the Panama Canal expansion, the larger ships that Jim's talking about, that's a key part of the strategy. And so he's teaching us and leading that effort to keep us globally competitive for the future.
But do you need to teach the White House, too?
Well, I think the White House understands. I mean, the White House now is related to the fact that if you want to double exports, those are heavy cargoes, then you have to have deep harbors to do it. There are 4 harbors on the East Coast that are already authorized to get to 50 feet of depth. But there's no harbor in the Southeast that's authorized to do so. So essentially what we're saying in Charleston is we're the best value for money to get a deep harbor, and that needs to be done fast. The studies have taken too long historically,
right.
but we're in a big shipbuilding trend now. We haven't seen that in the past. So you have to re-engineer processes sometimes. You have to move faster to make things happen.
So then if you could get the president's ear right now, David, what would you say? Hurry up!
Put us in your budget.
Hurry up!
Put us in your budget. As Jim said, that's the only way in this non-earmark world we live in to get this done. And so we would appreciate seeing Charleston and the port as the spot in the southeastern United States to be globally competitive, to get our goods exported to the world.
And make priorities. I mean, every harbor wants to be deepened. Not every harbor can be deepened. You have limits in funding. And
but yours can.
Ours can be deepened, we think, cheaper than any other harbor for what is achieved. And we think that's important in an era of scarce resources.
What will this do to the economy then?
It's huge because I think the Southeast is a natural exporting region,
yeah.
and it's a growing area in terms of manufacturing. I mean, we export as a country 11% of our GDP. Germany exports 40%, and
right.
their wages are higher, so we can export more. And we're well positioned to do that with good workforce, good technical training, but we need harbors that can handle the ships.
There seems to be, though, a little bit of a, I don't want to say mental block, but we're not as eager to build our infrastructure as you would think we would be. You know, this whole notion of shovel-ready projects and building new roads, and we haven't seen it. We haven't seen it. And why do you think that is? Because, to your point, other nations are surpassing us.
Well, companies demand it.
Right.
That's the core. So today, it is no longer good enough to be a community and say, we'll get there. You have to be ready, because they're making decisions in 3 to 6 months to either go with your community or eliminate you. And so, to Jim's point, it's a speed-to-market issue. We've got to do it faster.
Because, you know, we just saw this with the Keystone Pipeline and
right.
Canada, right? Canada wanted us to build this pipeline. We didn't do it. They're on their way to China right now.
Right. Well, the Panama Canal, which is probably the most extensive civil works project in the world, over $5 billion investment to widen the canal, is going to be completed in a shorter period of time than it takes to deepen one harbor in the United States.
Wow.
So that's really not acceptable, and I think the Army Corps of Engineers wants to move faster. It's a function of laws that exist and procedures, and those have to be re-engineered to make this happen much faster.
So wait, they got the money? The $20 million it's funding for a study?
Yeah, it's funding for a study.
So that's all we're doing. We're just studying. We're not even actually doing it.
And we cannot, the message is we really can't afford to miss a year in the process. Nobody can, because the ships are coming now. We already have ships that are too big to go through the Panama Canal today, and we're going to get more and more of them. And by 2014, we think the dominant size of ship in our harbor is one that's too big to go through the Panama Canal today.
Is there anything anybody could do? I mean, if people are watching right now and they're all annoyed about this as I am right now, what could they do? Can they do anything?
I think we have to get a clear message on the fact that transportation infrastructure also includes ports.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of the discussion has been up to the ports, but there's an urgent need to prioritize and deepen harbors to handle these ships, and it's got to be funded. I think the president's willing to fund it. I think his administration understands the need to fund deeper harbors, and we'll see.
Maybe we should stop spending money on, I don't know, like things like Solyndra and send the money to the ports. You guys are great. Jim Newsome, President and CEO of South Carolina Ports Authority, and David Ginn, President CEO of the CRDA. Thank you both for being
Thanks,
here.
Tracy.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck with all that.
Thank you much.
Appreciate it.
All right, you guys, we are going to take a break. When we get back, we actually have, we got a good story. We got to talk about how an icon was created. I love this kind of stuff. Entrepreneurialism. We'll be right back.